Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 77 of Direwolf20's Forgecraft series. What's up, T-Love?
Heyo!
Hey, we ran out of uranium.
I noticed. We also
cool.
ran into a ton of explosions.
Well, that's just because we didn't have any distilled water. I turned off my distilled water, dude, and that's why.
Still water when needs it.
So, we should be able to turn on our reactors. Explosions are normal. Yeah, like, we were out of uranium, so I had to, like, force the thing.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't care how many times you say explosions are normal, those are not.
Explosions are normal. Relax. We'll be fine. Chill out. Everything's okay, I think. You know what it is we're producing small amounts of hot coolant at the moment. Once we get a backlog of hot coolant, we'll be in much better shape. Yay! Woohoo! See, all our autocrafting is being redone because we were running low on uranium. So uranium's currently being processed over here. Large amounts of uranium. So everything seems to be pretty good down here. I tweaked my my timer because I wanted. Where's my screwdriver? I wanted this to have a longer delay, so now it's a 5-second delay every 2400 ticks, which I think is every 2 minutes. So 5 seconds every 2 minutes it stops and cools down. Should probably do the same back here just in case, but we'll see if this makes things behave a little bit better. So 2400. I asked Amadorns to let me make it so that I don't have to click so much in this UI. I think he's going to make it so I can shift click and do like 20 times.
He's working pretty hard.
He is, but these things are cool. I'm definitely liking the circuits like a lot. They're really neat.
I'm loving all the customizable things like chisel and bits and super circuit.
Yeah. But hey, guess what I'm going to do now?
What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna work on an auto-crafting system for us.
No way.
Yeah way.
Do tell.
Courtesy of RFTools Control. I think I know how this works now. So we're going to need a crafting station and a workbench. So crafting station and a workbench.
Seems our farm broke or something. Has no tree chop and no hoe.
Really?
Yeah. Seems it's not being supplied.
Are we out of wood somehow?
Oh, well, I guess that would make sense, considering we don't have any wood on the system.
We don't have any wood? I thought we had some wood going on over here.
I think we got rid of it because of the whole, lag issue.
Did we? Is that what we did?
We do have wood. We're just out of logs.
Yeah. What do we have? Birch wood? We don't have any normal wood? Hello. Do we have normal wood?
We
I don't
should.
see it. Yeah, I'm only seeing I'm seeing a few oak wood planks. But that's about it. I'm gonna put them in there, and that should clean up.
Yeah, it's cleaning up.
That should tidy things a little bit. We should get wood back at some point. Anyway, I think I've kind of figured out how this works.
Oh yeah, did I show you like the new pathway I made up to the castle? I don't think I did.
No?
Yeah, down this way.
This one?
Yeah, it's like all gravelly and stone, and then it gets into this nice stony path.
I like it.
Pretty cool. Yeah,
I
it goes
do.
down this
It's
way,
very nice.
and it's got this little balcony.
Fancy. You like these lights, huh?
Oh yeah, love them. I know it's a little much, but you know, lighting. Why not?
Well, you can never have too much lighting.
I was working on like a little balcony
monsters and
area
stuff.
over here.
Yeah, we have no oak wood. We should probably resolve that at some point. I'll make our tree farm again at some point.
I love how you just go and say, "We have no oak wood." Sees all the oak wood is on the path.
Yeah. I wonder where it all went.
Whoops. Yeah, whatever it all went.
All right. So I think I know how to do things, but we're gonna figure it out. So I'm gonna put my processor here. Crafting station can go here, and workbench can go here. So let's make something that can make a chest for us out of wood, which is a great example because we have no wood. Looking at you, T-Love. We'll use birchwood.
Look at me. What I do?
We have some birchwood, so that's cool. So basically, we want to say this. Does it not auto know what to craft is? I guess not.
Does not know.
So we'll say that equals that. Alright, I thought I knew how this worked, but I apparently do not.
Does Soren think like his world is you know, everything like, oh, this looks like a nice place, like right on the middle of the pathway, he can just place whatever he wants.
Pretty much. Alright, I need to take a look at something. Let's come back. Alright, I figured it out, guys. I don't know why I can't manually put it in there, but if I do this, it works. So that'll work for me. So we'll put this card in here. So this says 4 birchwood planks. Now, do you know about that yet? I guess not. So the next recipe I'll do is sticks, but we're going to use birchwood for them because I don't know if it's or dictionary aware yet. And this can go in here. And then we'll also tell it how to make a chest. So we'll recipe the chest, but we'll use birchwood because I don't know if it's or dictionary aware. We'll find out at some point, I assume. Cool. So this thing should now know how to make chests. Do we have birch chests? Yeah, we do. Okay. That's a quark thing, isn't it? So we'll teach you how to make birch chests. How's that? Neat. Now this thing doesn't list anything yet, but we're going to figure out how to make that happen in a second. Alright guys, making a couple of these dudes. Now this has to go into the processor, I want to say. We're also going to want a network card on this guy. And I'll put 2 CPU cores in here for now. So that's that. You still aren't seeing this guy yet, but we'll give him a... Let's see. I know I have to do something in here. All right, another thing we need is a node. So this node has to go somewhere. I think it can go anywhere nearby. So we'll put it here for now. So we'll name it channel, set the name of the network channel to connect to. Dire node 1. Okay. So then what you can do with the network card, notice how if you mouse over it, it says net setup name is what we have to type. So we're going to do net setup, I guess, dire? Ah, cool. Found 0 nodes, but found 1 crafting station. That's cool. Dire node 1. Node dire? Hey. Net setup dire. Found 0 nodes, but found 1 crafting station. Okay, I just did net setup dire again, and now we have one node and one crafting station. So it found you, found the crafting station, so that's cool, and it found this dude. So now we have to write the actual program on the programmer that'll do things. Cool. So let's write a program. Is there anything on this at the moment? No. All right. So here's what the program is going to look like. So if it isn't clear, I'm learning this as I show it to you guys. And I'm trying to follow McJD's video because he's not around right now, and I'm not having a good time with that. I'm not having a good time at all. Like, McJD wrote a video showing it working, but didn't explain how it works.
Oh, JD.
Yeah.
You learn.
He's
you
like,
learn
look, it's
ways of
Autocrafting.
tutorials.
But, like, there's this whole complex program, and he's, like, naming the things, but he's not explaining how, like, they interact or how the variables work. So, I will be doing a spotlight on this mod at some point in the very near future, hopefully. Probably after Minecon. But, for now, I am learning it, and you guys get to see me learn. So let's say that we had a craft event. So the way McJD has it set up, there is check ingredients. No, that's not what I want. He has get ingredients smart. Check if all ingredients are available in another inventory or storage system. If so, fetch them in the processor. Otherwise, try to request all missing items. Okay. And then the other one is, given a crafting card inventory, get the needed missing ingredients from another inventory and insert in processor. Can also be used with a storage scanner. Right. Returns number of items that cannot be found. So we'll try this one. So he has more complexity involved here, but we'll figure this out. So that's cool. So we'll get ingredients smart. And then he has a couple equals that I don't really know what they do. So this returns, what does this return? Get ingredients smart. Returns 0 on success or -1 on failure. So if -1, then it failed, right? So then I think what we can do here is say if equals the last input -1, well, we'll say 0. We'll say -1. Right, so if it's -1, then the crafting operation failed. Otherwise, if it's 0, so wait, yeah, so this is -1 and this is 0. Okay, cool, right. So if it's equal to -1, then the crafting ingredient failed. Otherwise, then we want to actually do a crafting operation. So what he put in here is this, which is operation push multiple items. Push multiple items from the internal inventory to an external inventory adjacent to the processor or a connected node. Also works on storage system, right? Okay, so we want to push from the internal inventory. So when did we get them? Is this getting them? Get ingredients smart, yes, all right. So the get ingredients, we're going to pull from the inventory up. Optional sides, that doesn't matter, right? So card inventory, what is this? Get ingredients. Check if all ingredients are available in another inventory or storage system. So we're going to just check the inventory above. Item to craft. Default is from the ticket, which is this guy, the craft event. Slot 1, slot 2, inventory adjacent to networked block for end result of requests. Okay, so we'll just do slots 0 to 10. Cool. So we're going to say basically what this does is when we ask it to craft something, it's going to check in the inventory above the processor, which will be this chest, which is where I'm going to put the wood. And we're going to say, look for the items that we need in order to craft the thing we want to craft. And if we find them, well, first we're going to say if we don't find them, then we're just going to say we failed to craft. But if we do find them, then we're going to do something, right? So this actually winds up the operation that is get smart items. We'll pull it into the processor. So step 1 is look in here for the items and pull them into these slots, 0 through 10, first. Then...
Did you place this wireless RF tool battery in our basement?
Maybe?
I don't think so. This thing right here? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I placed that. Why?
Okay, just making sure. I just saw it recently.
Yeah, no, that's all me. Okay, so then I want to push them to an adjacent inventory. So we're going to say push multiple items. And how does it know which items to push? That's what I want. Push multiple items from the internal inventory to an external inventory adjacent to the processor or a connected node. Right, okay. So we're going to push them to the north direction. So inventory north. And I guess we'll put them in the top. That sound cool? First slot for input will again be slots 0 through 10. And first external slot is optional, so we'll just leave that blank. So we're going to say push it into the workbench. Okay, that should be cool. And then the next thing we're going to do is this. Fetch items from an external inventory adjacent to the processor. So I guess that auto-crafts it. So the next thing we're going to do is fetch. Inventory adjacent to network will be north again. I think we're going to try down. I think down is where we pull out of. And then slot in inventory, not used for storage. Optional item to fetch. Optional craft result. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay. So we're going to fetch the crafting result. Slot is optional, so I guess it doesn't matter. Amount, slot out. Internal processor slot for result. We'll make this slot 12. Does that sound good? So we did 0 to 10, so we'll do slot 12. Use or dictionary matching optional. Routable. Okay, so that's good. So that is going to fetch them into slot 12. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is mark craft okay. So there might be a little bit more complexity to this. What McJady shows in his video is some stuff that I don't fully understand. But we'll figure it out together, guys. That's what we're doing today, is learning. There's even like a function that he has in his program that I don't see here. So that's not helping me either. Cool. Well, let's give it a try. Save it, crafting, okay. So can I just put you in here? Now, we're going to allocate 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we'll just let it have access to these inventory slots. Cool. Now you need power as well. That should be giving you power. Nice. Cool. Bad parameters. Well, that's not good. Bad parameters. Sweet. All right. Let me play around a little bit. We'll be right back. So I'm adding the craft result inventory with crafting cards optional. Should be north. Hopefully that works. So event craft. The item to craft is the crafting result, I guess. So this inventory adjacent to network block with crafting cards. That should be north. Item to craft or empty for default from ticket. Right, so that we can leave for that for now. Cool. So let's save this and see if that fixes it. I just want to So you're not misbehaving at the moment so much, but you're not working either. So event craft, inventory north, we'll say up for the access. And save that. Internal processor slot with craft result. We're going to set that variable to constant 12. That should be cool. All right, let's save it again. Cross your fingers, guys. Still bupkis. All right, playing around again. Oh, hey, I got something working. I don't know what I changed. I think what I changed was I told it to look here. Now, if I tell you star and save, I told it to look inventory with crafting cards. So that's the north side of the processor has the crafting cards in it. If I put you in there, okay, cool. So I think that's working. So I think that's what it was, right? So now I should be able to request a birch chest, right? Missing crafting card. Really? Cancel? So what if I tell it to make that? Missing crafting card. Okay. Cancel. We're making progress, guys. I just don't know what I'm doing wrong yet, so hold on a minute. So I'm going to change this card inventory. I'll make it north star. Let's save that. Put you in there. Now if I request you to craft that. Hey, okay, what's up? Did we just get it? Sweet. It just made them. Cool. Now if I tell it to make this. Okay, that's not bad. That kind of worked. So yeah, there's something I have to do programming-wise to make it be able to recursively craft, but I think we're making progress here. So it crafted that. I can put these in here. Okay. Where did you go? You must have gone somewhere. Oh, well, what? You being silly? Okay. Okay then. Birch chest. Yeah, you are being funky. Getting there-ish. Let's come back. I have to see if there's some programming I have to fix or what, but we're getting there. So inventory adjacent to network block storage to access storage is the north up. I'm going to adjust it so that you don't tell it which side to access. I'll just say star. Because that might be part of the problem. So let's save that. This is me learning the mod. Like I said, a mod spotlight will come soon-ish. Oh, cool. And that put it where? Here? Alright, apparently I did have to tell it which inventory side to pull from for accessing. Fetch from, I guess, the downside. Slot out 12. That should be cool. Let's see if this works. Once I get this working, trust me, it'll be neat. So that puts it right in here, which is cool. I'm okay with that. Now what about the chest? No, you're still being weird about chests. What about sticks? You're being weird about sticks too. Why are you being weird? Guys, I think I fixed it. Request a stick. Nice. Request a chest. Nice. That's what's up. All right, I fixed it. So the problem was this. So I figured it must be when it pushes it to the adjacent inventory. Remember down here it said external slot. It's optional, the first slot to push it into, and I left it null because it was optional. Well, that was a mistake. It needs to be told something. So I made it the first slot that it can push into is slot 0, and that fixed it. So now we've got a functional program, right? So let's review before we move on to the next step, which will allow recursive crafting, right? So we say, wait for an event that says we want to craft something, right? And the event that wants to craft something comes from this little programming table, right? We say, check to see if we have everything we need to craft it. And if we do not, then just say, hey, the crafting failed. If we do, then move on and get the items from the inventory above. Right? Well, this one gets the inventory items from the above. So we try and get them from the above inventory. Check if we have all the items and grab them if we do. And if we did get them, then we move on and we say, push them to the north inventory, then pull out the crafting result, and then say we crafted successfully, right? So that works great, except we can't do recursive crafting. What does that mean? It means that we can't say, if we don't have enough items in here, we can't say, go ahead and make me a chest. Can we? Kind of. It said it worked, but it didn't, because it didn't. So it kind of derps, and it doesn't recognize recursive crafting unless we program it to understand recursive crafting. So that's what we're going to do next. Cool. So you'll notice that when I request a recursive craft, it kind of puts all the recipe needs in here. So it kind of does them all. So I think we can do something with that. So let's give it a shot. I'm going to write this next piece of code to see if we can get it to work. All right, guys. So a little bit more tweaking before I move on to the next step. One thing I found is if you tell it what slot things are in, so like I told it the crafting operation resulted in slot 12 here, which is something I've been doing this whole time. When you do the craft request, like so, it'll give it to you here, okay? It doesn't put it in slot 12. It actually does put it in slot 12 and then immediately transfers it to this inventory. However, if you don't tell it, so I'm going to say you are going to be null save. Okay, and remember, when we pull the items out of the crafting grid, we're putting it in slot 12 in the processor, and I'm no longer telling the craft operation what's complete slot it's in. Now when I do the crafting, see how it says, okay, it didn't give me those 4 slots? It put them in slot 12. Cool. So then, if I wanted to, I could just do we'll move this, and we'll do a push items from inventory. We're going to push up from slot 12, right? Slot and inventory amount. We'll leave empty slot internal processor slot for input. Wait, what? Push items. Slot in inventory. That should be null, and this should be 12, I want to say. Cool. So if we save this, what we should wind up with is the program now when I craft the 4 wood pushes it in here. Beautiful, that's what I want to see. Cool. So now we've got it pushing it into the inventory above. Nice. Okay, cool. Well, that's good. All right, good deal. Let's come back. All right, guys, I think we're reaching close to the wrapping up point. So I'm going to show T-Love my progress here, and we'll see how things go. So, T-Love.
Yes.
Look in this chest.
48 birch.
See a bunch of birchwood, right?
Yes, indeed.
All right, so look at this UI here on this block. And request the birch planks. So it doesn't recursively craft yet, so only request birch planks.
Nice.
Cool. Now what you can also do is if I do this and save this dude, now go ahead and request the birch blanks. Why are you all of a sudden misbehaving? Oh wait, I know why. Hold on. We're gonna do this. Okay, and then now request the birch blanks. I gave them to you.
Nice. I finally can click it, and it gave it to me.
Yeah, see, it's in the UI you were looking at. It's at the bottom left.
Nice.
Is that cool?
I like it.
Yeah. So like request. You should be able to request a chest now.
Yeah, I literally just clicked it and I gave it.
Cool.
That's really fast.
Yeah. So right now I have it configured to just craft a result, but I have to write a little bit more programming to get it to the point where it can recursively craft. You'll notice that like if we clear out this inventory here and we tell it to request a chest, it like did both of them there and it just said okay. But it wasn't really okay and it just gave you 4 birchwood planks because right now I'm not handling it properly. It should actually be failing, so I don't know why it's not failing, to be honest with you.
Good programming?
No, like I programmed it to fail and it's not, so it's bad programming. Eval string, where's the output? That like, wait, stop program, fetch items, log message, that's what I want. Function last string. I want to see what it actually writes here, because this should be giving a -1. It should be evaluating that. So if I tell you to make a chest, a 1, not a -1. Okay, well that's cool to know. I thought it was -1. So if I tell you now, we're going to take this out, we're going to put this in here. I have to tweak this a little bit, but we're going to move you down here, we're going to move you back, and we're going to test you for 1, not -1. Now if I say make a chest, failed. Nice, that's what should have happened. See how it said failed for chest?
Yeah, I saw that.
So, all right, and then I'm gonna hit chest again, failed, okay, cleared, good. Now if I hit chest again, it's okay. Because each time it failed, it did that, and it did the thing, and that's cool, okay. Sweet. Okay, I see what's happening. Yeah, neat. All right, so I shouldn't actually need this thing down here that I have. Cool. So when it fails, it just moves on to the next crafting component. So basically, like you'll see here, like it failed, but it crafted the birchwood planks, right?
Right.
So in theory, what I should do is basically loop through and say, like, if it's going to fail, like skip that one and move on to the next one. And eventually it should figure itself out and go. So I just have to tweak the code, but we're going to do that next episode. So for now, it's wrapping up point. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. I'm going to finish writing this code, and I also think there's a way, if it's not already implemented, it's going to be soon, where you can export code. So once we get like a good crafting program written, I should be able to export it and give it to like people who aren't good at writing this kind of logic. But basically, all we have to do, T-Love, is populate this workbench over here with inventory crafting cards, and then we should be able to craft on demand for stuff once the program's written.
I like it. I like the idea.
Yeah?
Automation again.
I know, right? I'm all excited about it. And then we can maybe play with it to like autocraft other things like smeltables and whatnot.
Yeah, that will be very handy.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yes, because manual, trying to get dark iron, yeah, that's...
Yeah. Also, this whole thing can integrate with the inventory system in RFTools. So we can give it access to our whole inventory if we want to.
Ooh.
Yeah. What's up? Is that cool or what?
Very cool.
All right. Darwell20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Take it easy.